everyone, my name is Skye. I'm a raw vegan. I was sick for 32 years of my life and I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. Now it's Friday in Australia. Every Friday I go live, I talk on a topic and I create a recipe. Today I wanted to talk on coping socially on a raw food diet. What does that look like? How do you cope? Because eating raw food, if you don't know, is especially, a plant-based diet is vegan food, but raw. You can't eat all food raw. And why do people do this? Because it heals. It helps a lot of people heal. You feel more enlightened. You can be better at exercise with energy. There's many benefits, but a lot of people do struggle with this, especially the socializing. Because a huge part, I think even myself, is like how you get, especially I was sick and then I got well and hey, Apple, I know, long time, right? I got well and then I thought, well, how do I go out and be around people? How do I eat? Now, I will put this below. I actually have a website called Raw Skye. So ROARSKYE. And I actually documented, I should bring this up actually. I actually documented how I ordered at different restaurants, how to grab a menu and put things together, ways of eating. And a lot of what I did was, especially when I first went raw, if there was a restaurant I was going to, I made sure to call the restaurant before I went. Now, let me bring up my my website because I shared recipes which can be helpful, but there's a huge part of how to shop and how to, as I said, as to how to order when you're out. So share screen here. Okay, share. Okay, so I think you guys can see my screen, right? Add to stage. Why don't we do it here? Okay, so yes, here's the website and you go across to Raw Lifestyle. And there's a section in here called Raw Restaurants and Raw Shopping. And I did this because I knew I had to create a lifestyle. I knew I wouldn't stay raw without creating an actual lifestyle. I couldn't be like, oh, I just eat vegetables to fix me, because I'd feel like I'm coming from a place of lack. And I wanted to feel like I'm coming from a place of abundance. So Raw Restaurants is on my website. As I said, it's ROARSKYE. Now, all of these are different salads I've created and how I created them at different restaurants, okay? Different ways of eating, different social situations that occurred and how I got them to make these different salads. Like, for example, and some of them are expensive and some of them are cheap, and you'll notice clubs and RSLs or pubs, they actually in Australia do pretty fresh, big salads. Like, for example, this is a restaurant which isn't there anymore, but the whole purpose of this is to show you what I did. So I love to create salads from fresh ingredients listed off menus. So this salad was simply pomegranate, avocado, fresh lemon, shallots, and chili added to their garden side salad. And I put the menu here of how I saw on different parts of the menu, I saw there's pomegranate, I saw there was chili, I saw there was shallots, and I said, guys, and I saw avocado, and I said, can you add all of that to the top of your garden salad? I actually see how it says click here to learn how to order. One sec. So on this, you click here, and this is how I ordered. Now, I remember when I first went raw, there was so much anxiety about eating out. Please remember, I had literally been in a bedroom most of my life, and now I'm supposed to go out with people I haven't seen in years and say, hey, I'm up, but I'm not going to eat anything in this restaurant. And you already have a bit of anxiety about doing all of this. So I've got this whole sheet on how I love creating and just a couple of examples of how I've ordered in different situations. So I won't read all of this, but the whole thing you want to do is going to a raw restaurant. I always say there's 2 ways. The first way is, if you know you're going, go to the website. This, especially when you first go raw, go to the website, find their menu and look for their side salads or garden salads. I always think that's the best option. They might have other salads, but taking things off is always problematic. I always say go for their garden salad because that's going to be their veggie basics. Then I scan their entire menu. I look for lime. I look for ginger. I look for pistachios. I look for anything which is like vegan that possibly, if I called them and said, basically it's like being a chef for restaurants, but like I'd be like, right, I can see you've got lime, you've got pistachios, you've got shallots, you've got radish. Can I have that on top of your garden salad? And could you make that an extra large salad? Like, so charge me whatever, extra to make it bigger. That is like a golden rule. If you know you're going out, so you've got a Father's Day, a birthday, anything coming up, I would do that. Just for making yourself feel comfortable. Also, a lot of the time, even if they don't have juices, they blend some fruit up for me. So I might say, look, I'm going out. It's someone's birthday. I don't go out that much, but to reconnect with friends, I did, and for special occasions. And they said, look, we have in season and stock, we have some grapefruit and orange. We'll blend that up for you. Or sometimes you can look on their mocktails. They will use fresh ingredients, and you just say, can I not have the syrup and well, there's no alcohol in it, so not have any syrup, and they'll do like a watermelon mocktail mojito or something. So there's that option too. So that if you call a restaurant, and I'm always very specific when I call. So I've found calling and saying to these restaurants, I'm a raw vegan seemed confusing. You say because I had mast cell activation syndrome, but you can justify it anyway. I said I'm high allergy. And then their ears light up, because a lot of the times you'll find when you order, they will destroy what you've ordered. So in your head, you're like, okay, it's just going to be avocado, tomato, and lettuce. And they'll have put salt, pepper, a bit of spice, a big drizzle of oil and balsamic vinegar. So if you tell a restaurant you're high allergy, they're like, oh, we've got to be so careful. And the chefs have to, I think, double check it before it comes out, because that's a real problem for the restaurant. So a lot of the time I used to say, look, I was sick most of my life. I'm able to go out now. They've discovered I was high allergy and I can eat. And they always say, what are you allergic to? With mast cell activation, a lot of people have that, and histamine issues. You're allergic to everything and anything. You don't know, but your safe foods, I'll say, look, I can see you've got lettuce, avocado, tomato, and I'm going to bring my own dressing. And they more than likely will be even extra accommodating in that situation. So I started off by telling restaurants I was a raw vegan, and merged into, and I still do it today, is mostly, unless they know me, say I'm high allergy, which is true because I have mast cell activation. I'm not so bad now with, if someone dropped a few cooked pistachios on top of my salad, it would not be the end of the world now. I was talking about this early at the start when I first went raw, and I would only eat everything, like not even nuts or seeds. Like, I think it was a response, like our consciousness and memory really, you become who you were when you ate something. So a lot of my old memories can come back when I have even like tamari, soy sauce, because I had that when I was sick. I've had cooked pistachios before. A lot of even raw pistachios, eating like a full, very high watery diet, I think put me in a different reality. So I was very funny if someone dropped something extra on my plate, even to a point where if there was like some dried onion on my plate, I would push it to the side, but wouldn't need to send it back. I'm much better. So, but especially at the start, I'm going to suggest you guys call. Oh, you can't see this page. I think, let me share this other page. Because I've jumped across, I didn't realize another page had opened here. So stop sharing that one. And we'll share this other one, because this is just a ordering, like how I order. I didn't realize it hadn't come up. So yeah, so on this, if you go to my raw website, it will just show how I order. And I just think two things is it will make you less anxious. And it'll describe how, especially at the start, it also helps you create a raw lifestyle, because you will have to eat out at restaurants. So some other times I have been in situations where, so this is a Thai restaurant. So I actually ordered my Thai food once and said, can you hold the steam? What? I'm like, I don't want to cook, just hold the steam. So they brought out, I think this isn't that example, but one time they brought out the papaya salad, which is a papaya salad here and a green salad here. But another time they brought me a plate of just veggies, and I think I brought guacamole with me. and a papaya salad, and I didn't get the dressing at the time either. I'm a lot better with maybe having a dressing which has some sugar syrup in it now and maybe a bit of their soy sauce. That would not faze me as much now, but I haven't really experienced that yet. So this, again, here, there's a picture here. You can see, go to my website. I've got lots and lots of pictures and recipes, but I actually had a raw party at just a traditional club, like restaurant club, and I got them to make lettuce cups. I said, these mini salads. So that what I was showing you before, how the pomegranates, avocado, that restaurant put on a party. I'd been raw vegan for a year. And I asked them to make little lettuce cups, which had lettuce, carrot, onion, avocado, pomegranate, chili, and lemon juice. And I ate that with a big fruit platter. And then they served everyone else. They ate normal foods. They served other food. But see, the more you do this, the more confident you'll get. So that's like a sheet you can read. The other thing is, once you do you're out, a lot of the times you're out and you want to eat raw foods, and people have said, the group that you're with has said, we're gonna go order at this restaurant. Can you eat there? Every restaurant I know of personally has a salad, even if it's just lettuce leaves. I maybe there's places which don't, but I have never experienced a place which doesn't have a side salad, or they can put salad bits in a bowl for me. The thing I noticed when I first went raw is I wasn't as confident. I got quite anxious doing that. When I first went raw speaking, so this is how I did the menu down here, where this menu had a seasonal side salad. I hope you guys can see this. It was $6. And then I went up to the other menu and saw they had pomegranate, they had tomato, they had Spanish onion, they had chili. I said, can you put that on the side salad? They did all that for free, but they charged me, I think, $3 for an avocado on top. I think that's how much. The whole salad with 1.5 avocados on top, I think it was only $9, the entire salad. And that was from a club. So I found clubs did big salads with putting avocado and all sorts of things on. But that's my example there of how to do the salad. What I always did, I don't do as much now. I don't need to. And I think I've showed you guys this before, is I would not leave the house without I call it an esky. I think you guys call it a cooler. I still have it. I got it from Kmart. And I would fill this to the brim with food. I would be like bananas, dates, avocado, more than I could possibly eat in one day. It lowered my anxiety. I remember going out to the zoo. I used to do a lot of disability support work, so I'd be out for the whole day. This would be full. I would pre-make a dressing and salad, have a dressing container, salad container. I didn't eat nuts and seeds at the start. At the very start I did. So if I did nuts and seeds, this would be chockers. Plus sometimes even more I'd be carrying. I always made sure I came home with the food. Like there was excess food, I just put that back in the fridge for the next day. This esky would be full even if I was just crossing the road to go for a swim. I did not leave this apartment when I first went raw without copious amounts of food. It blows my mind when people tell me they had to eat something because they didn't have food. My number one rule is do not leave your house without a ton of food. The other thing I did, which is on my website, let me bring it back up. Here. Let me bring, not that we want a new one. New page. Yeah, you want to lower your anxiety by having excess amounts of food with you when you especially first go raw. Okay, so back to this lifestyle page. So on my website, as I said, there is, I think I can show you here. Let me add to the stage. So on my raw website, I'll take that banner off too. It's a little bit in the way there. Okay, so you can go to my website. Once again, there's recipes, there's a whole heap of recipes on there. There's like 200 recipes there for you guys. But this lifestyle side, go to the lifestyle side. Now down here is shopping. So I obviously knew that many people following me would not be in the same area as me. This is not about that so much as it is to map out where shops are which have food you can eat. Remember, your enemy is leaving your apartment or house and smelling food you can't eat, walking past 20 shops of food you can't eat, walking past people drinking, social, doing things you can't do. So you need your bag full of food. This is especially when you first get raw. And then you need to map out in your brain where shops are that you can get access to food. Let me show you. Okay, so shopping, and you just go view more. Now, there is in here, I have now started to include shops where you can get my Amazon storefront. You can get things that I use. But I knew this shop, let me come down because they're the first ones. Okay. Is this? I've changed it up a bit. So these are all shops where, okay, so I've added some things here, but basically this, if you come down to where the food shops are, so Cronulla Fruitland is a vegetable and fruit shop that was up the street from me, which is very close, which has an abundance of fruit. So that was like 5 minutes walk, 10-minute walk. Now our corner shop, like the local corner shop, which is quite small, bonus, they also stocked fresh food. Okay, so I knew they were there, and they're open till 10 p.m. So this fruit and vegetable shop's like 9, probably like, I don't know, I think 7 in the morning to say 5 in the afternoon. But after hours, I could get my food from this CJ shop. The gourmet grocer at Cronulla had more expensive but better produce. Still, none of this was organic. I didn't do organic till later on. So I knew I had them. So far, there's like a cheaper veggie shop to get everything, which is 10 minutes. I got 5 minutes here. And then the gourmet grocer is more expensive, but it was very nice to get most of my stuff there when I could. Woolworths is like a big shopping center, which had like nuts and seeds, and it had like spices. It also had, what else did I have? I've got, that's weird. I don't know why it says oil. I don't think I ever had oil. I've got oil written down here, but, they also had like dry cauliflower mixes, noodle mixes, things like that. Coconut oil for my body. That's another thing I needed. So I've kind of put down here, I mapped out in my brain where everything was, and like locally, because if I wanted a craving at 6 p.m., I can't order a takeaway. And I've got nothing in my fridge. I have to know that Woolworths is still open, which is about 20-minute drive, or that CJ's was still open. And it really helped me. Really helped me. Just like, you have to, every time you leave the house, have a bag of food and know where you can get food. So if I was going with, as I said, I did a lot of disability support work when I first got well, is if I knew where I was going, I had to first, before I went the next day, check what shops in that area I could eat at. So that could be, they have a Woolworths is everywhere, all over Australia. So they might have a Woolworths where I was going. That was very handy. No matter where I go, usually there's a Woolworths, and they have fresh produce and nuts, seeds, coconut oil for my body, any apple cider vinegar if somebody needed it. And also their fruit shops, or I'd look up cafes and check if the cafe had juices. Like my biggest downfall was going to be if I got hungry, basically, as a raw vegan, because you are so not used to feeling light. And when you get hungry, you get so overwhelmed with, like, you're all of a sudden around pizza shops and like you're at a movies and people having popcorn. And if I have my pre-made dressing, salad, nuts, seeds, I don't know, whatever you need to survive. Now, this is why when you first go raw, it's people are like, I've got to not have this and not have that. Man, you want to stay raw. You're going to do whatever you can to stay raw. So Koala Mama said, my friends with allergies to corn and wheat was just talking about how restaurants don't get it. I'll send it your website. Yeah, you have to say if you have an allergy or eat a specific way, even if you're just vegan. I mean, vegan is pretty good now these days, but I say high allergy. And from when I started saying high allergy, I don't think anyone got it wrong. The other trick is never say no dressing. Ask for the dressing on the side. Chefs are so used to doing boom, 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 and like just putting things on and sending it out. One, if you say you're high allergy, they will stop thinking. Usually salads and food has to be double checked. Also, if you say dressing on the side. That is something common. So I just don't touch the dressing, but it makes sure that the dressing isn't on, because at the time I was getting every second time, like I was out with my family, there was just no dressing, no throw dressing on. But this was all pre saying that I had high allergy. So I'm glad you could see. I'm glad I made this because website very early into my raw journey, because it was literally how I went raw. I did not think about what a book said or somebody said. I was like, I know my weaknesses. My weaknesses are every smell. It's getting hungry. It's thinking my lifestyle is lacking. So I made it very abundant. So I made sure my brain knew every cafe and restaurant which I could eat at around me at all hours. I made sure I was overstocked. So my fridge, like my money, people cannot come to me and say they can't afford it. I was on disability payments and only paid my rent. I paid my phone bill, my Wi-Fi phone bill, which is your phone, and food. That's it, because it was saving my life. And the more I did it, the more I could get up and then work in disability work. Within 6 months, it took 6 months, and then I started working. But that 6 months was literally spent defending my weaknesses, which is going to be eating or smelling something. So, and then we were also talking about having carry bags. Yes, and don't if you're going out somewhere, make your best dressing your favorite meal, the thing that makes you feel good, because you are up also against people. Like I just went out for Mother's Day, they had 7 courses plus wine plus bread. And you're expecting, it's not that you're weak, you're expecting a brain that has lived this way or wants to fit in or be part of the family to feel good, not having any of that. So in this restaurant situation, you've probably seen on my reels, Albie's, he always makes me like 4 courses. I think he made me 4 courses that day. But if not, and this is a really good example, is even the first time I went out, I called the restaurant ahead, got them to put together a salad for me. They put together a juice and a fruit platter. And everyone on that day had, I think, 3 or 4 courses. So the more you're able to plan ahead, the better you will do. Or order 2 salads. So yeah, carry bags are the best. My friend, Heidi, who's still high raw, she does not really leave her house without just a plastic carry bag with veggies and fruit in it. That's her thing. She does it to this day. So you do what? So I didn't know that Woolworths was in the US. I never knew that. It's like huge here. It's like, it's actually great. So I healed myself a lot by eating Woolworths fruit and vegetables. What I noticed when I did go to America is that it's really hard to eat everything from a shop, because it tastes really chemically. It's not like that in Australia. Yes, there's probably chemicals on it, but for me, maybe I was very adapted. And maybe it's like the foods you pick too. So, but I did heal with non-organic food and looked after myself enough so I could one day afford organic food, and now I get organic. I get spray-free and biodynamic food, so there's no spray on it. So, but also I made friends with the guy at the farmer's market. I pre-order it and get it in bulk, so that helps. But it's all a process. But I'm telling you, the first process you want to do is fill a bag with food and have it with you whenever you walk out that door. So Koala said, she said she can't just leave the food alone without adding anything. They think will be fine. And I have that experience too. Is this like, do you mean like they just have this tendency? I feel like chefs have this tendency to just add some salt or add some pepper or add some oil, or add some vinegar. And that stopped for me when I said I was high allergy. They literally can give me just a plate of lettuce, which is good. Yeah. And look, the goal, you have to remember, you don't want to come from a place of lack. So you can't sit at the restaurant and be like, I'm missing out. I don't have that. I don't have this. I tell you what you do have. What I noticed when I would leave these restaurants after having my salad and my juice and my fruit is afterwards, everyone would be pulling at their waistband. Okay. Everyone will be saying low vibe words like, I don't feel so good. I'm so swollen. Or that was so nice, but now I need a sleep. Or now I need a coffee. Like it wasn't high vibe. Whereas I come out of a restaurant after juice, fruit, sometimes maybe a smoothie, and be like, okay, I'm going to go to the beach, or I'm going to go to the park. Like it was really interesting. I have like the rest of the day to do something when everyone else was just crashing out or drinking more. And I was like bettering myself even more. So you have to shift your mind from what you're doing. Like you're eating those foods. So not just later you feel better, but technically like straight away after you're going to feel better. Like raw foods, it's a huge difference than even having like you had three, just say you have 3 vegan cooked meals, you're still not going to be like revved up. Like when you have like raw food, you literally feel electric. So there's like there's so many benefits to it. But a huge part is when you go out or go to a family event, bring your favorite raw foods and treat yourself. Like don't be like, unless, as I said, you're in a situation where you have to eat a very specific thing, remind yourself why you're doing that. But I knew I wouldn't last doing that. I knew that even if I wanted to be perfect on a raw diet, I had to finally accept where I was at. And that is, well, bring cashew dressing with, I don't know, whatever you love the most on family days, because everyone else is not eating. Like most people are like, might go to a relative's house for Mother's Day or a relative's house for a birthday. They're all eating cakes and like I don't know, cured meats and whatever they're eating, or fancy foods, because they're celebrating. You can still do that. You just don't eat their food. You bring your own food and celebrate with some sushi or some pizza. Use those occasions to treat yourself with more gourmet food. So they're saying Canada. I hear Canada has less stuff. Just like I would walk in the supermarkets. I remember I lived in America for a period of time as a child. When I went back there last year, I was reminiscent of that chemical smell, not just on the fresh food, but more so actually in the produce aisles. I can't believe that people actually, I know it might hurt some people's feelings, but I can't believe people survive in America. I don't know, like when I came back to Australia, I don't eat any of it, but when I walk down the supermarket aisles, we don't have many ingredients. Everything is like natural rye crisps, or, I remember growing up as a kid, we had like 6 or 7 cereals in the aisle. Like I think we had Frosty Flakes, muesli, Wheat Bix, oats, Cocoa Pops, so maybe 10. Okay. I went to America and there's 2 full, I was 8. So this is like 1990, 2 full long aisles of cereal, both sides. There's Captain Crunch Choc, Captain Crunch Double Choc, Captain Crunch Double Triple Choc with triple glaze. It was like my mind as a child was like, have I entered a new reality? And it reminded me of this when I went to America, is how much is like put in that stuff. And when I come back to Australia, although I don't eat this stuff, is the shopping centers don't smell chemically or have so many ingredients. So that I have going for me. Like I think it's a lot. Like, so that's why I'm like, you guys are superheroes. Calling a restaurant, like even if the restaurant has a salad, I really think it's a really good idea to just, it lowers anxiety. You turn up, you're like, hi, my name's Skye, I'm the raw vegan, or I'm the high allergy. And they're like, yeah, we've got that down. Okay, thanks, I'll come and see you. And it's all about luck. Because if you start getting anxious and stressed, you're like, it's all too hard, I'm just gonna eat pizza, or you don't want to get there. So it really does help. So not to pressure or tease about it. And also I'm blessed. I've never had anyone tease me about my food that I'm with because I was so sick, like literally. And also, if people are teasing you, I want to tell you something, is the people who watch me do what I do, even if they don't have the health problems I do, I can tell they wish they could do it by things they say. And a lot of the time, if people are paying you out, it's just really to make themselves feel better that they're drinking and eating things that don't serve their best self, and they know it. And also, you have a choice not to be around those people. If I was around my family and they made fun of me, I wouldn't go. But I'm very blessed. In fact, I was thinking about this the other day. My nieces don't actually remember. I think the oldest one does remember me being very sick. But I don't think she's ever remembered what I ate. They, in their brains, only know me as a raw vegan. Like they would blow, if I ate a piece of toast, they would be like, what's wrong with you? So, we can change the perspective, but I wouldn't, if I was judged by my family, you have the right to say, no, you're creating your whole new life. Yeah, like that to me is like we still don't have that much. We don't. Australia is very, very, very different. Like literally, like back then without the internet, it was real culture shock, and everything was cherry when I first went to America. We only had two flavors everywhere: cola or strawberry, and there was like cola cherry, there was like watermelon berry pop. I was like, where have I landed? So it's a lot for you guys to go up against. But I believe the universe and God doesn't place anything on our shoulders we cannot handle. Now we're getting to the where I lived in Houston, Texas. I said that right, but I remember like, yeah, we lived there when I was 8. I was actually pretty sick. So I'd been sick as a child. After the chickenpox, I could not get better. Glands swollen, falling asleep all the time, like chronic fatigue type thing. When I went to America, and it makes sense now, and everything was pepperoni pizza, and every food chain had a Happy Meal, only thing of a Happy Meal, and only did Happy Meals, I think, didn't come out till I got back from America. We didn't even have kids meals. So all these, like, it was so exciting, but I was always sick, like really sick in America. But yeah, it was a while ago now. So on Fridays, I also make a recipe out of food which is left over in my fridge. So we'll stop here. I could talk about this for a long period of time, but I think I've covered a lot of it today, because it's like the crux of how I was able to be a raw vegan is the bag, the like pre-planning, because that's reality, right? And now I don't really think about it. I leave the house and might not eat for 3 hours, but when you first go raw, you want to have food with you all the time. Remember when my friend Heidi first went raw and she's like, Skye, I got up at like midnight and ate a tomato, or I don't know if she minds me telling you this, or an avocado. But I told her to do that because I said, your brain goes crazy. It doesn't know what to do being like feeling so different. I'm like, you're not going to eat avocados at midnight forever. I didn't. But at the start, you do. You do strange things. So, yeah. My thoughts today, because it's winter and I have a lot of carrots, I was thinking of doing like a spicy cheesy carrot soup. If that can be a thing, that can be a thing. It will be a thing. I don't have any of it out because I was on a live before this. I could have been a little bit more organized, but I saw that I have a lot of carrots. I hope that's yes, I do. I'm actually going away next week. I am going up to Queensland. I'm actually hoping to meet up with Freely up there, which will be amazing. I'm going I'm in Sydney, so hopefully we can meet up. She's been like high raw. Well, she's the banana girl. She like rules up there. What are we doing? So I'm getting out like some things here, but I will still be going live just from a hotel room. Is this still there? There we go. Okay. What else have we got? Yeah, we've got a bit of ginger and garlic. So if you're new to this, every Friday, I usually go to the farmers markets on Saturday and restock my fridge. But so I clean it out and make a recipe. Oh, I feel like I'm having garlic. This is really weird for me. I'm never out of garlic. Maybe there's some in the fridge still. Also, if you don't know, you can. Oh, is there a tiny bit? No. I've got garlic powder, so that's fine. I forgot what I was going to say. Must have been that important. We'll do some garlic powder. We could do some turmeric. I know what I was going to say. If you're going into winter and you're having to go vegan, you can do warm like sauces and soups and stuff. You don't have to, as long as you don't cook the food. So you can actually, the way food's eaten is food is actually eaten at about 40 degrees Celsius, 43 degrees. It's cooked at a massive heat, but you can't put it at like 200 degrees Celsius in your mouth. You'll burn your mouth. So when you warm it, you can actually trick the brain even more. And I do this in winter. On that raw website that I showed you, there is actually some really good warmed soup recipes, which help a lot of people, I know. So, yeah. So cool. I hope you get to meet up with. Yes, I talked to Freely is lovely. So she is. So hopefully I get to meet up with her. So we're going to do this now. Or maybe we'll cut these up first. Also, I notice when I do raw food is unlike cooked foods, everything you don't have to do a lot because there's so much flavor. So we've got some carrots here. We'll just put those straight in. So you're hopefully up in Queensland, I'll be able to do like even like a potluck with a few people who live up there. That way it's much warmer. So down here, it's like, I guess you wake up at anywhere from like 6 to 8 degrees, and then it will go up to maybe 12, anywhere from like 12 to 17 degrees in our winter. And then up there, it's like 37 degrees. It's full tropical. So that should be fun. Okay, so I fill this about halfway with carrots. So I'm going to do that. I am going to do, where's my little measure? I'm going to do a cup of nutritional yeast. So it'll be like really cheesy. Put that in there. Might do some, I'll see if I'll do some chia or flax. It'll make it go a little bit jelly, so maybe not. Maybe we'll do some sesame seeds today. Now for flavors. We will do a bit of ginger. So we'll do a thumb of ginger. And we'll just get a teaspoon. We'll do some garlic powder. Fresh garlic would be optional here, guys. Let me move the camera for you. Might do sunflower seed today. I haven't done that in a while. I think that would be nice in here. Maybe do 1.5. The garlic powder. A little bit of smoked paprika, maybe like 1/2 teaspoon. I shouldn't need any dates because the carrot is one vegetable which is usually sweet enough. A little bit of turmeric. I'm going to say like just like 1/2 teaspoon. And, oh, I've got some chili here. Keep us warm in the winter. Now, I don't like to say how much chili to use because everybody's chilies are a different spice. So use like the heat that you want. So I'll just use a little piece like that. And, oh, acid. We want lemon or apple cider vinegar. Hey, Victoria. Welcome. We were just talking all about socializing as a raw vegan. I didn't really even get to like how you answer questions and stuff, but just the hugest part is like how you bring food, make sure your brain thinks that you've got enough like stimulation, like have a juice, have some fruit, have some salad, because when you're around people eating a lot, you start to feel like you're coming from lack. You don't want this. Do not want this. And then always what I do now is when I go out for lunch with people and they have like lots of courses of food, I eat when I'm out, but when I come home, I make one of my favorite feel-good recipes. Like when I went out for, I think it was Easter with the family, I made a good salad there. Their salad was good. We had avocado, and then I had bought avocado and cashews and some chili or something. It was like a lot going on. But then I came home and made one of my favorite salads, and that made me feel good too. So I don't know, a good squeeze of lemon, I always say. Now, I'm thinking like we're going to need something for the creaminess, and I would usually do sesame, but I'm actually thinking doing sunflower seeds. hemp seed would be nice too, but I'm thinking I just don't do them enough, and we've got to get different levels of nutrients in. So let me try like, let's say like a quarter of a cup to start. Okay. I was going to set this up today so that you can see me, and I will do that from now on when I get back from my holiday. The full kitchen. It's just because I had a catch-up podcast today, I didn't, but I will do that so you can see everything in my kitchen. Also, I will film my kitchen. I haven't done that yet. We need some water. We're going to need, I'm going to start with saying like half a cup of tomato in here. I think I've got some tomato there, which would be nice for your mum type. What? Maybe I don't. Maybe I just made that up. I don't do. Oh, there, yes, we do. Do a hiding. I'm going to say just one tomato. One tomato. Now with the tomato, yeah, so just a little bit of water. I'd say like a quarter of a cup to start. Okay, more water. I'm going to do like another like half a cup. So we're at 3/4 of a cup. Okay, pulled up on this because in Australia, I grew up, well, my mum always made like really thick and chunky soups. And I know a lot of people who see my soups are like, it's so thick. You can water yours out if you want. Let me try this. You can also heat this, like slightly warm it in the blender. So when you serve it, it literally, to me, always tastes like exactly like soup, like I remember. So, oh my gosh, that is so good, guys. All it needs is a little bit of salt. That's it. It's perfect. Holy cow. And for those who are like, you know, raw food doesn't have much protein, there's got to be a ton of protein in there with a cup of nutritional yeast and seeds. Oh my gosh, that's really, really good. So that's like what, cheesy carrot, spicy cheesy carrot soup. I should plate it up. I should plate it up. Yeah, it is really nice. I think I got all those flavors. And look, it is really chunky, but that's how I grew up eating soup, like really thick. You can just, as I said, water it down to whatever you like. So let's. I think the powdered garlic is really good in that. Actually, I think if I had garlic, which fresh garlic would have been too strong. So now you'll see how chunky this soup is. Like really chunky. It's going to be really filling. So to be honest, it just adds like a cheesy taste. It's not, there's recipes where you can really taste nutritional yeast. This is one of them you don't, because there's so many other flavors in it. We will put a little bit of chili on top of this. Just like that, girl. There we go. A little bit of decoration. I don't think I have any herbs. I think I have like, to make it look pretty. Oh, sumac would be perfect with, okay. Oh no, some sumac and darker, and we're going to nail this recipe. So one of my favorite spices is sumac. It's a flower, and I love darker. So what we're going to do is, this is like both of these are kind of like Egyptian spices. Just put that over the top. This is like such a cool winter soup. Oh, And then I think this one is like an Arabic or a spice, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. It smells amazing. Yay. You could make it without the nutritional yeast if that's what you want. I always say with any of these recipes, make it however you like. Yeah, let me like disconnect. It should come up here. Here we go. You get to see me here. Hi. See what I'm doing? I'm just filming this for the second here. Just so we can make an Instagram reel or video. And take a quick photo. Okay, let me try it. I mean, I already tried it, so I know it's amazing, but like, have it like slightly warmed in winter. I mean, who wouldn't? And you feel so good. Guys, oh, I said it needs some salt. It just needs some salt. Not much, just a little. That's the only thing that was missing. And probably pepper too. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And yes. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yes, it would be a good dip as well. I think just because it's winter vibes here, but yes, that would be a good dip. I'm a bit like that. I'm like, make it a sauce, make it a dip. The more versatile you make things and free your mind, the better you'll do on a raw food diet. So yeah, so I will see you all next week in Queensland. Well, technically on Monday, I'll still be here. And yeah, so have a great weekend, everybody, and see you soon.